So question 1, we're going to determine the volume of the following triangular prism. So we can tell that this is a prism because it has the same shape on the top as it does on the bottom. So we have this triangle on the top of the prism. If we could visualize the bottom of the prism, it would have the exact same triangle. So for the volume of a prism, it's equal to the area of the base times the height of the prism. So when we talk about the height, we're not looking at the height of the triangle, we're talking about the height of the prism itself. So that's going to be this measurement of 5 millimeters here. So the area of the base, well, our base is a triangle. So we're going to use the area formula for a triangle. So it's a half times the base of the triangle times the height of the triangle. So 1/2 times the base of the triangle, which is 6 millimeters, times the height of the triangle, which is 7 millimeters. And we can tell that these are the base and the height because this is meeting at a right angle here. And that's multiplied by the height of the prism itself. So it's a half times 6 times 7 times 5. We can multiply all of these numbers together in a calculator, and I did that on the side. I ended up with 105. Now, for units, this is a three-dimensional object. We're trying to calculate the volume, which is going to be in 3 dimensions. So the units are all in millimeters. So this will be millimeters cubed. Next up, we have a cylinder. The cylinder has a diameter of 14 centimeters and a height of 10 centimeters. What is the volume of the cylinder? So I'm just going to do a very rough sketch of a three-dimensional cylinder here. So we're given that the diameter of the cylinder is 14 centimeters. So that's from one end of the circle to another. So that means this radius is going to be 7 centimeters. So we take our diameter and divide it by 2 in order to tell us the radius. The height of the cylinder is 10 centimeters. So that's this height right here. So 10 centimeters. So we want to find the volume of this cylinder. So this is the area of the base times the height of the cylinder. So a cylinder is a similar shape to a prism. So it has a circle on the top, circle on the bottom. So we can use this same sort of formula to guide us through. Area of the base, well, since we're dealing with a circle, this is pi r squared. So this is pi times the radius, which is 7, squared, times the height of the cylinder, and the height of the cylinder itself was 10. So once again, we're going to calculate this on a calculator, and I would recommend that when you're doing this on a calculator, if that calculator has a pi button, use that instead of an approximation for pi, like 3.14. It will give you a more accurate answer. My calculator does have a pi button, so I'm going to type pi times 7 squared, or I could do pi times 7 times 7 times 10. And I ended up with 1,539. This question did not specify decimal places. So if it is specified, make sure you include that much. I'll just include the 0.38. And again, we're dealing with a three-dimensional object, and we're trying to find a three-dimensional volume. So this is going to be centimeters cubed. Final problem. This one's a little bit different. This time we're given the volume. So we have a rectangular box that has a volume of 900 centimeters cubed. The lid of the box has an area of 45 centimeters cubed. What is the height of the box? So we don't have to draw a diagram for it, but I'm going to draw one just to try and aid with some clarity. So we have the lid of the box which is 45 centimeters squared. Note that it's 45 centimeters squared because it's an area, so we're just talking about the top of the box. We're given that the volume that the entire box will hold is 900 centimeters cubed. What we're trying to find out is what is the height of this box. So we can refer back to the same formula. So the volume of a prism, and this is a rectangular prism, is equal to the area of the base times the height. Now, the area of the base is a rectangle here, which is length by width, but we don't even have to worry about that because we're given the entire area of the base itself. It's 45 centimeters squared. So this is 45. The volume of the prism is 900. And we want to find out what the height is. So we're going to use the inverse operations here. So 45 times height. So 45 is being multiplied. So the inverse operation is division. So we'll divide both sides by 45. These 45s on the right-hand side are going to reduce. So we'll just left with height. And then 900 divided by 45. That gives us 20. And this is 20 centimeters. So we're just looking for a height this time. We're not looking for an area or a volume. And indeed, if you compare the units here, we've taken centimeters cubed and divide them by centimeters squared. So we are indeed left with centimeters. And that's the overview of calculating the volume for some different types of prisms and cylinders.